Hey, Kiequest here again. Bringing you part 2 of my Let's Play of Path of Exile. I'm going to go ahead and just speed along. Try to move as quickly as possible. As you can see, it tells you here what gems kind of work with what you have selected. For example, this one does not, because how it works is it creates like 2 additional copies that come out and swing your weapon. But because of how this skill works, Ground Slam doesn't work with it. You could use it with the Heavy Slam I had earlier, and it would allow you to have a form of AoE. But probably because mine's a red, I'm gonna have to go with your red skill gem.
While we live.
Well, preferably, I would have the onslaught support because it allows you to move faster, attack quicker. So let's take a look here, what kind of gems we have available. Maybe I can swap something. Great, destroy glacial. Cleave is a classically good skill to use in the beginning. That's smite. Don't think. If you hold Alt, or depending on your button configuration, it'll give you additional information. For example, here it's giving information about shock and how it increases damage taken by enemies up to 50%, and I think the minimum is like 10, but it's dependent on how much damage you deal to the enemy and inflict the status. Well, there's nothing here I really want to use, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to sell these items. They do sell for better currency if you identify them. Ooh. No, stop. But I don't have that much currency right now, so it's better, so I'm just going to sell them as they are. Alright. Also, there are crafting recipes. I prefer to have that thing. Where, for example, if you do 3 of these, or 3 of these small flasks, you then can trade it to them, and they'll give you larger flasks. If you want to know more about them, probably do some of them, but you can also look them up on the wiki. I typically don't do them. Not because they're not worth time, but because I just forget to do them and I don't remember them all.
Got a job for you. Farewell.
Alright, so now we can travel back to the Rogue Harbor. No, we're just gonna do the parts here. So we're gonna go back to the coast. And then we're gonna go ahead and go into the mudflats. Typically, you can find, you could just go straight to the optional there, but I think a quicker method of doing it is to not die to these things and to just use your speed potion here to go through here. But what you can do is go ahead and grab these after you fight, apparently.
To kill is to live in Kiequest.
Alright. There are 3 of these nests around, and you have to collect the items from each of them. I could stop here and do a quick select on my passive, but you might be attacked, and I'd rather not die to beginning monsters.
My mana is gone.
Oh no. Buttons. I recently got a different mouse that I'm used to, so I'm a little bit not quite as well. I don't use the numbered pads to actually play much. So this is okay. Again, mine looks like this because of the loot filter I have. So yours will not like this, but you can go ahead and get a loot filter. Mine again is Filter Blade. There's several others. There's people like Ziggy D who talks about it a bit more in depth. In fact, if you want a more in-depth tutorial, there's one by Engineering Eternity. I really like his tutorials. His tutorial is very good. Better quality and depth than what I did, but I figured mine was, you know, something that was needed for people who just kind of want to jump in. So now I gotta find that last one, so that way I can go ahead and just open up the waypoint. Normally this doesn't take that long to find these, all three of them. The map shape's a little bit weird. After you play this game for a while, you'll actually be able to take advantage of the map shape and know approximately where most things are. Okay, last cliff. Oh no. No. Recently, I haven't played Last League that much, so I didn't play around with the slam skills, but slam skills recently got reworked. So I'm actually kind of excited to mess with them a bit, to see how they are in this league. But they are noticeably slower, but I do feel that they're much stronger than they used to be. And obviously, they're not, you know, showing a super good performance right now, but they do get a lot better as you get more gems, more gear suited up for it. One of the problems I find with melee-based classes is that they're so equipment heavy, but also they have they scale really well, and if you get the right gear, you can scale them up really quickly. Not only that, but they are quite reliable in defense and such. Alright, so
Yes?
as if you build them right. Okay. Not bad. When you're unselling, you can't equip things. That's something I find slightly annoying. Had to do that in order to something. But this is for the heist, which is the name of this league. I haven't done anything with that yet, and I'm looking forward to it, but I don't know much about it. Let's go ahead and get our reward here. Let's see. Ancestral Protector. Basically, this is a totem. It's the first time you're seeing these. It's kind of like a stationary minion, and it'll inform you in the text what it does. This one in particular will give me more attack speed. There's two different types. There's for increases in stats. Basically, there's just increased, which means that it's additive, just gives you a plus, or there's more. More is in general a better stat because it is a multiplier at the end of the calculation, and so often gives you significantly more. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Molten Shell. Molten Shell is a pretty good defensive skill, especially if you have lots of armor, which this is a armor-based kit. We're gonna go with lots of quite a bit of armor and as for defense stuff like that. So this skill allows you to absorb damage pretty well. Steel Skin is another take on a defensive buff, like an oh no, I need to make sure I don't die. And steel skin doesn't have any requirements to it, but isn't as quite as strong as molten shell if you have a lot of armor.
Yes?
I'm just gonna go ahead and sell it for currency. Gotta pick our points. In the beginning here, it's pretty easy to know what to pick. I plan on going over to this one and getting Resolute Technique, just that way you never have to worry about missing hits, and you can just go ahead and use whatever weapon you want to and just go ahead and swing at it. Alright. So now it's time to go back to the flats because I didn't finish that. And this is a quicker way of doing it, is by going here and then going back. Especially if you do it in time. Instances reset eventually, but it takes, I think this quickest one is the beginning instance, which the reason why it's set so quickly is that way you can farm for a unique weapon called Oniboroshi, and it only appears after you hit level 2. Or can appear, and it's basically that boss there. He will sometimes spawn with it. It's a really low chance, and I think the fastest time it took me was an hour to farm it. But I've heard people taking up to 20 hours, so whether you farm it or not, it's up to you. Here's molten.
I cannot do this yet.
That was molten shell I just used. I wanted to show that it gave me a shell around me that basically stopped my life from being attacked for a bit. Okay, now we're in the fetch it pools. Let's see. Okay, well, before I go on here, I'm going to stop here for now. Alright, talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.